This is going to be a fun video because right now you're watching this video. It is Sunday. I'm not working on Sunday, so this is a Saturday night video. It's going to be fun because we are going to do some speculation on what is going to happen next going into this new week. So hit the subscribe and like on the way in. Let's see how this plays out. I have some thoughts, and that's really why I wanted to record this video so it's up for you. And here's the thing. When we're talking about this, it's speculation. But there's data that's going into at least my thought behind it. So here we are on the altcoin charts. We're going to be digging into the altcoin market cap charts, as you see here, excluding Bitcoin. So this is market cap excluding Bitcoin. We're going to dig into Ethereum move that's happening right now. Tonight, as I record the video, $2,500, just above $2,500. And we're going to do some ADA technical analysis, 82 cents right now as I start this video. So let's start. It's important, especially as we get ready to go into this, I would say, important week. I want to start with this news because this is partly why on the short term markets are kind of making a little bit of a move to the upside. Oftentimes, whether it's going into a bull market, into a bear market, we have catalysts that drive that first short term move in that direction. Right now, the tariff deal between US and China is very much in play. It's on the table. A very good meeting today with China and Switzerland, many things discussed, much agreed to. A total reset, negotiated in a friendly but constructive manner. The markets really like that. And that is 100% clear when you go look at Polymarket. Polymarket, just 2 days ago, May 8th, as I'm recording this video, it's May 10th, 21% chance that there will be a US-China trade deal before June. Look at this. This at one point, just like an hour ago, was at 67%. And that is because of this post. What will Trump post tomorrow? What will happen at the beginning of this week? I don't want to just full on say that this is, there's going to be a deal announced tomorrow or Monday, and we're just pumping. But I will say this, if posts like this continue, be very ready. Because even without posts like this, there are very, very strong indicators for these charts that we're going to look at. Right? One of them is the Ethereum pullback that I've been tracking. Tariff stuff or no tariff stuff. This entire move, a multi-year triangle we've tracked, right? The breakout to the downside, the speculation that this would be a fake breakout with a pullback to the triangle itself, a busted pattern in play, and it's never been more in play than right now. So this is the Ethereum chart, which we're about to get into in just a moment. But I want to start with altcoins as a whole. And I want to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. Bitcoin dominance, a couple things to note on this chart, very important, is this swing high last cycle, to swing low. This, on this higher high, higher low journey on the monthly, this was a very long journey. We've just been talking about this range. Basically, this Fibonacci range that you see here, it's a it's a lower high from the last cycle, swing high to the swing low. It's the green rectangle. This entire range has been in play this entire time, and Bitcoin basically on the monthly wicking right to the top of that Fibonacci range. I am so interested in this chart. As many of you know, I was very excited to potentially get a resistance at the lower end of the Fibonacci if this could have led to altcoin season starting right there, and it just didn't. Bitcoin dominance actually made its way into the range, and we tested the top of the range. And who knows, there's still 20 days left. Bitcoin dominance could just pump all the way back up. And this is something we should be prepared for, especially if you're an altcoin holder. But right now on that monthly chart, it's looking like there's some resistance. And we can say that from a momentum perspective as well. Even on the stock RSI, quicker moving momentum oscillator, check it out. We put in a higher high, but on the stock RSI, we put in a lower high. Something very similar happened on that chart on the stock RSI last cycle. So you see down here, lower high on the stock RSI, higher high on Bitcoin dominance, and then same thing, right? You can just see, well, maybe this move, Bitcoin dominance, wasn't so much a higher high, but a very powerful move to the upside, all the while seeing that lower high on the stock RSI. I think it's fair to call that some bearish divergence as well. Not as strong as right now, but very similar move happening at the upper end of the Fibonacci resistance. So going over to total crypto market cap, I wanted just to say something, and this is excluding Bitcoin. This is altcoins. Through the recent weeks, how often were we just talking about how these high fear events. We've seen them before, and it's almost like they always play out the same way. And for me, that data is why I sit here and we're going through some massive capitulation back here. And even crazy, that candle with all that capitulation, just record-breaking high fear, that candle is a green candle on the monthly on these altcoin charts. But we were talking about this, right? This is why these circles are here, is because we were looking at that high fear environment and we were saying, hey, we've been here before in COVID. We've been here before in 2018 bear market low. We've been here before all the way back here in 2015. And every time we've bounced out of that area. Now, I'm not sitting here saying this is the definitive indicator that the bull market is on for altcoins, but I am saying that's a very good indicator. It's a very good sign that this is playing out with all the other stuff we have going on. We're talking about the Fed monetary policy pivot. We're talking about global M2 money supply and liquidity on a global scale has been just seeing higher highs and higher lows, right? And that is kind of an indicator that is a leading indicator for something like Bitcoin and altcoins. So we're very much on track in terms of a lot of indicators coming together. And if we see the tariff stuff, even this week, start really easing up and we get closer to a China deal, a continued breakout on these charts is something to anticipate. So let's start looking more in the short term. There's a couple things that I want to talk about, especially right now because it's happening. We did get the pullback on Ethereum. This is such a massive move. It's one of the most interesting moves in all of crypto that I'm watching right now. I know I keep saying that. I keep saying, in case anybody new out there, I'm not like some Ethereum bull, right? But this chart is so important, even if you don't hold Ethereum, because this is a leading indicator for altcoins. That's what this is. Meaning if Ethereum is able to break into this apex and really start putting together a busted pattern here, meaning fake breakout, we don't hit the target to the downside, we get back into the pattern, and we actually make the move to the upside. $10,000 Ethereum is very much in play for this bull run, and the beginning signs of that right now, obviously this was quite a journey to break down and then come to this moment right here. But we are at the moment. We're testing the lower end of the range of this triangle, right? And literally, we are just below it. And confluent with that area is a 200-day moving average around $2,700. It's a huge deal. So here's the thing. Sunday will be interesting because up in the air is whether or not Trump posts something that continues to boost markets. What I want to point your attention to is this. When we get a breakout to the upside, right, on these altcoin charts, and I mean like a very, very bullish breakout to the upside, like a bull market breakout to the upside, for instance. Let's just go to the last bull market breakout for Ethereum all the way back here. There are moments if we just, and I really want to explain this, or I want us to think about this in the coming days. There are many moments in a parabolic move where an altcoin, and most altcoins, will take a breather. We'll take a break. The very simple way to do that is just look at a parabolic move on a chart and look at it. There's a bunch of red in there. There's a bunch of red. There's a bunch of pullbacks. So we will see red days, even if we're in a bullish environment. I see a lot of people, for some reason, this cycle, it's even worse. And it might just be because we had such a brutal bear market, but we get like a little bit of a red candle and it's all over. It's all over. But I just want to say, even when the bull market comes, and maybe it's not now, when the bull market gets here, when cryptos are really starting to put in higher highs and higher lows, starting to approach all-time highs, there will be red days. There will be red candles. There will be big pullbacks. It's just something that you have to be ready to digest because it's going to happen. It will not just be green candle after green candle. This is a start on the Ethereum chart, right? We have 3 green candles right here. The reason why I wanted to do this video, especially tonight, is because there is a strong potential with kind of these short-term narratives that we have going on that Ethereum will break through this lower end of the triangle, even potentially in this current daily candle. There's still 22 hours left. So you could be watching this video tomorrow and we might be trending kind of towards a 200-day or above. You might be watching the video tomorrow and this proves as strong resistance. And I just want to say right now, this would be just a normal move. Even if, and I don't know if this is going to happen, but if we're going to be entering a bull market, maybe this is the beginning of the entry of the bull market. It would be normal to look back on this chart one day and say, you know what, this is how it played out. This is how it played out right here. And that means pullbacks, especially when we have moves like this, the 20 above the 50. Anytime that happens, I think it's a good idea to anticipate some type of, if not just pullback, some type of just consolidation, especially at a big resistance area like this, multi-year trend line right there, that yellow line. As these 20-day and 50-day moving averages cruise up to the upside, maybe before the continuation. But I really want to say this one more time. Tomorrow, if there's some type of China news, let's see what happens here. We might see Ethereum start cruising to the upside. This would be the most bullish scenario. So that's Ethereum. So interested in that pattern. Let's go to ADA. I want to discuss ADA because ADA, as you know, is a huge hold of mine. I'm insanely bullish on it. It is the most bullish altcoin in crypto. And right now, it is back in the bull market doors. Same thing with ADA as we kind of were looking at the altcoin charts. It's kind of like that high fear environment. We were tracking it. We were waiting. It's so bullish that this was a historically record-breaking high fear environment, and ADA was just hanging out, putting in a higher low on this weekly chart. And this is just a trend that we've been watching for quite some time. And now ADA has gone from testing the upper end of the bull market doors. We fell out of the bull market doors, and now we're back in those bull market doors. The 20-week moving average, I think as we go into tomorrow will be interesting. 22 hours left of this weekly candle. How does it close, right? This is right around 80 cents. So this will be a meaningful area to watch, the 20-week moving average. Even more meaningful, I will say, is to continue to see if we can get, first off, a close above 71 cents, the bottom range of the bull market doors. And maybe if we do see resistance at the 20-week, it's kind of just sideways and we continue up. That's what we want to see. We want to test the upper range of the bull market doors, $1.25. But what I wanted to discuss in terms of ADA is this. That move could very much be in formation. I know we've been tracking many different things on these charts. I'm going to dig into the daily for some short-term price action and what to watch for. The key area that's actually within the bull market doors that could just lead to the absolute explosion of ADA through the upper end of the bull market doors. But I do want to point out the bull bear arena in the crypto capital venture intelligence system, because this is something I've been tracking. So here's going back to the swing high. We thought this was like the beginning of the bull market for ADA. This is going back to swing high in December. And look at the struggle, the bulls and the bears. The bears absolutely winning, right? We've been talking about this entire move and the flippening of that momentum to the downside happening right now. And right now, I really just want to point out that the indicator is saying, and this is a shorter term indicator, but the bulls are in full control. So this is taking different momentum indicators and different data, and it's trying to plot, who's in control, who has the dominance here. And this is saying stochastic K and RSI above 70 amplify bulls dominance as momentum intensifies. The reason why this is important, if I kind of zoom out on this chart, and many of you might know what I'm about to do, the reason it's important is because this bull's in full control happening right now. If we're really exiting this multi-month downtrend, it is looking even more like this consolidation back here. And this was in the October 2020 consolidation, and ADA made its way. Just the bulls stepped in at that moment, bulls in control, and made its way into the bull market. So this is going to be an interesting story to kind of watch for ADA. Here's how it could potentially play out on the daily chart. If the bulls really do step it up, this is the area that I'd be watching. First off, I talked in a recent video. I know I have Fibonacci's. It's kind of messing up the screen a little bit, but I want to leave them there. But we talked about, similar to Ethereum, the 20-day crossing above the 50, always in play to revisit those areas. I'm just going to get that out of the way and say it. But if cryptos continue to the upside right now, the area that I'm really watching is, and I don't know if it will get there in the short term, but it's it's $1.01. This is a 618 of a Fibonacci. The Fibonacci is important because if we take the Fibonacci, it's the swing high in December to swing low, and it's ADA breaking that range. The reason why that is such a powerful indicator is, and this is a very good example, when a lower high like that gets broken, it can oftentimes lead to an explosive move. That explosive move is so important to ADA because here is the upper end of those bull market doors, $1.25. I think if ADA breaks this green range, it's game on. And a very good example and illustration of this is a Fibonacci from this one. We had a swing high coming out of 2023 bear market low. So here's a swing high to swing low, absolute pain in August 2024, if you remember, another high fear event. And it's a swing high, swing low. And ADA breaking this area, you can just see it wasn't like there was a moment of pause and resistance at the lower range, lower end of the range. This could happen again for ADA if it makes its way to that $1 area that we just looked at. There could be resistance there. But once it broke that Fibonacci channel, it was just off to the races for this new swing high. And so the reason why I'm watching that Fibonacci that's, the lower range at $1 is because if a move like that happens, this could be a massive stepping stone for ADA for two reasons. Let me just put it this way. If we get a move like this one back here, and we just bring it over, all that consolidation, look, the high fear in yellow is August, but here we are. This was in April, our high fear most recently. If we get a move like this, notice, let's plot the Fibonacci, swing high to swing low. If we get a move like this, two things are happening. Number one, we're breaking the bull market doors. And the bull market doors, if I go to the weekly, are, let me just go to the weekly that I have open. The bull market doors up here is this 20-week moving average resistance going into the bear market, in case you don't know. It's the same exact thing that happened at the beginning of the last bull market, that area being broken, right? 20-week moving average resistance going into the bear. So that is huge. So if ADA is able to make that move on this daily chart, it will be breaking above that area. But then zooming out further, the reason why it's so important is because of this. We are getting very close to all-time highs. At this moment, ADA could be, and this could be, and I don't want to say this because I've done this before, it's speculation. I'm not saying that this is exactly what's going to happen. It's just a possibility. If a move like this repeats, ADA could be at $2, right? Sooner than later. I'm not saying tomorrow, but $2 could come very quick for ADA sitting at 82 cents. Now, this is a very big deal because the move that ADA is kind of exiting right now is, let's just say it's 82 cents right now. Well, last cycle at this moment, and we've seen this, ADA basically at around 10 cents, right? And so that is very much illustrated on our Cardano risk model. And this is why I'm tracking all of these indicators right now. And I'm incredibly excited to have all of these tools. But on the Cardano risk model and then Crypto Capital Venture Intelligence System, if we're looking at, and this isn't Cardano actually, but let me change this to Cardano. That was Bitcoin. If we're looking at where Cardano is right now, right, on the risk model from a heat map perspective, we're sitting at, what is this at right now? It's at 43. Well, pre-bull market area, and I know I've discussed this in a recent video, 42, 43, right before that breakout. So again, if ADA starts cruising up towards like a 50, 55 in terms of the long-term risk, things are looking promising that not only a Cardano bull market, but an altcoin bull market is in the works right now. And so I know there's a lot going on. Like there's a ridiculous amount of things going on and nobody can know what's going to happen. But obviously it's all speculative. But when we have short-term things like the tariff deal and we have all these other macroeconomic things, like we have Fed monetary policy and the QT coming to a slowing down at the very least, if not an end, things could be lining up. And this move, if the bulls step in, could happen very fast. So no matter what price is doing as you're watching this video, it is a very good idea to, number one, prepare for all scenarios, obviously. But number two, as we just saw in all of these charts and all the data and all the news, don't underestimate the bulls so much. that has happened so many times in crypto, whether it's Bitcoin or altcoins, and we kind of have seen what happens next in those scenarios. So those are just my thoughts, everybody. If you want this crypto capital venture intelligence platform, it's a big sale right now. I'm excited for you to join us if you would like these tools. So hit the link below, it'll be there. But either way, I appreciate you watching this video. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, turn notifications on. I will see you all in the next video. I hope you're having a good start to your week. God bless.